You're right. Well, let's move on to topic number one. Let's do that. This will not be a very long topic, but it's time for a little BSD intervention. Seriously, what the blank is wrong with that guy? So that is me. We're interventioning toward me today because I have been spending a lot of money on original art, and I blame this guy right here. I blame Dan. I blame Eric, especially. This guy, he's my CGC guy, so I can't blame him too much. But I've become obsessed with original art, and I don't know why, but it's just, Matt, what is it about the art that draws you to collecting this stuff? Because I have thousands and thousands of dollars in this room of polystone, poly resin, but yet like my passion right now is kind of drifting a little bit toward this art. Like, what is it about it?
To me, the first one that I got a commission from that I was like, oh, I just have to have like my own piece of work was Tony Daniels. Met him a few years ago in New York for the first time. And I said, hey, and I was buying some comics from him and getting some remarks and everything. And I said, hey, I would really like I'd really want a piece from you one day. And he goes, well, I'm kind of busy right now. And he said, hit me up. And I think it was February. He said, hit me up. I'm going to slow down. And I was like, well, he probably won't even remember me, playing type thing like that. Well, I hit him up in February and he goes, oh yeah, I remember you. He's like, what you want? What you want to do? And I was like, well, I love the Batman, I love your Batman. And I said, let's do something with the Batman and the Joker, type thing like that. And, he started talking and he was like, well, hey, and I said, hey, it's, and then I just finally, on the first piece, I was like, hey, I would just like Batman's cape kind of flowing or whatever. And I let him run with the idea because I said, hey, I love your visions of the Batman. I mean, who am I? I'm just some guy, type thing like that. I said, and he was like, are you sure? He was like, I can do anything. I said, you can do anything. And he just showed me the final piece. He didn't do any sketch, or whatever. He was like, hey, this is it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Type thing like that. And ever since then, I was like, okay, well, now I need another one from you. But then you just meet these artists with respect that you admire, hey, I love your Batman. Hey, I love your Joker. Hey, I love your whatever, your vision of them. And then you just, you make that connection and you just say, hey, and they'll say, well, what are you thinking? Well, hey, I'll say, hey, I would really like, a Deathstroke from you. I was like, hey, it's your vision. You paint me your vision of Deathstroke battling Batman or whatever. But going back to a few years ago when we all met up in NYC for the first time, and I picked up that Tony Daniels piece of the Batcave, and you were like, oh my God, that, da-da-da. And you were like, that's a rabbit hole I can't go down. And I was like, okay. And now you're in the same rabbit hole,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I started out with smaller pieces, trying to get stuff like I did just sell this, but this was like an original Tony sale, or Tim sale. And so I just sold this because I just picked up a larger one, which I'm going to show you guys. But I started out with kind of smaller things, and then this was a big problem here. This this wall right here with my original David Finches, and to be able to have some of my favorite characters done by him, that really changed the game for me. But and now I keep going, kind of like whenever you collect statues sometimes, or figures, you kind of stair step, like you start with the smaller scale stuff and then you kind of work your way up, and that's what I'm kind of finding myself doing. And now I'm discovering, thanks to like Jeff at Secret Sanctuary, I'm discovering things like Heritage Auctions, and Comic Link and some of these other places. But I wanted to show everybody some of the art that I've got recently. This one I just got in today. I showed everybody before the show, but this is an original Sean Murphy prelim, which I'm really excited about. So I have a quick sketch that he did for me in person, and I still would like to do a larger commission with him at some point. Speaking of amazing people, here's Cece. She's also been enabling me recently. Cece's fantastic with art prints, but she's also getting into original art. But this is a Sean Murphy that I just picked up. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'll show you a couple other ones that I went down the rabbit hole. You mentioned Tony Daniel. So this is this is a prelim, kind of an addition, kind of an initial sketch that he's doing for me. And so he's working on that as we speak. He just reached out to me this week and was asking my opinion on some things. So I've got a larger scale commission coming from Tony Daniel. This one is coming from Jock. I'm very excited about that one. And it's kind of simplistic, but I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
It looks like kind of the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman in the red.
Yeah.
Remember how they did the movie poster for that?
Yeah.
I'll grab my first Tony Daniels piece. Let me see.
Yeah, thank you. This is another Tony Daniel that I'm picking up. I really liked it. I'm selling a couple of my watercolor ones, but I really liked the black and white of this one, which I thought was great. But this is the one I just spent a lot of money on this week. Or go ahead and show that.
So this was the first one he did for me.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, wow.
You can kind of see,
it's a similar idea.
Yeah, and then that was I said just do the Joker in the background, but Batman to be front and center, and that was the very first piece, and then from then on I've been hooked. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
that's awesome.
And everything.
I mentioned Tim Sale, and this one I came up and I was debating back and forth of whether to spend the money because this was an expensive piece, but I did buy this one this week. This was a Tim Sale commission of the Joker, and I love The Long Halloween. It's my favorite Batman story, and so I thought, what the hell, get something that really represents his Joker. I know his style isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I love that story, and I never had a chance to meet him, unfortunately, but I kind of fell in love with that piece of art. So, and again, thanks to Jeff and Heritage Auctions, I have a couple of bids out myself for some other larger pieces. I'll be getting a Jason Fablock commission and possibly a few others, and Lieber Mayo, which I'm very excited about. So, anyway, yeah. So tell me I'm doing the wrong thing, guys. I need the intervention here. Come on.
I would just say, I know we talked at MegaCon and you were like, well, I want one from this artist, one from this, type thing like that. I would just say, and I'm guilty of it. Like I've got like 8 Tony Daniels pieces, you know what I'm saying, type thing like that. But, but at the same time, I've got about 4 or 5 Fabok pieces. So I'm like, okay, I got enough from him. Let me go to another artist, you know what I'm saying? And create a relationship with this artist, get 1 or 2, and then create a relationship with this artist, get what, type thing like that,
Well, I mean, that was my goal but now I've got 3 Tony Daniel, but my main thing is I really want a lot of Finch because I just absolutely love his black and white line work, but and still be able to represent my favorite artists. And, there is a limited amount of my favorites. So it's like, that'll help me, I think, kind of, not spend too much. But
well, Chris, as another YouTuber often says, collect responsibly.
That's right. Yeah. That's true.
I mean,
hashtag restraint.
Like, for example, last year, my wife said, it seems like you're spending a lot of money on statues. And my statue stuff all comes from my own money. It doesn't come from family money.
Yeah.
But I added it all up. And when I subtracted out what I had sold in statues from what I bought, I only spent $250 on statues that year.
Wow.
That's good.
Yes, it seemed like there was tons of stuff coming in, but there was also a lot of stuff going out. And it made it perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing, like for me, statue wise, I think I have like 5 on pre-order, which, normally have like 20 or 30, so it's like, I'm in the dredges here.
Stuart Murray has 58 right now.
Who does?
Stuart.
Oh my God. Isn't that's
58 pre-orders.
Where do you put that?
I can't imagine there's 58 things to order.
Well,
I mean,
for example, like the Superman from LBS, he's getting like 3 different versions of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's getting both deluxes and he's getting the black costume. So,
well, one thing, me and Dan's not here tonight, but we talk about it a lot. If you had to give up or cut back on one thing, what would it be? And me and Dan have this conversation and we say, well, I could take a few less statues a year if I got comics, CGC / art. And, I've got about probably, I got a few things, on order, but like I say, no matter how big your room is, one day you're going to run out of room for the statues unless you sell, you sell, which right now is not a seller's market, So with the art / art prints, just art in general, you can say, okay, well, I've looked at this one for a while. I'm going to replace it with this one. And just, it's in a frame, so it's not going to get damaged or anything else like that. And you can kind of rotate it out. I had that talk with Cece at MegaCon. She was like, I was like, I've got stuff I haven't even seen the wall yet.
Right.
Type thing like that I just need. I was thinking about that this week. I said, okay, I need to rotate some stuff out, type thing like that.
Well, the other part before we wrap this part up is I just wanted to say too that like when it comes to CGCs, I feel like especially like what Jeff collects, where the olden golden age, silver age books, like that's a good investment. It's like you can collect statues, and there used to be a good resale market for those. Now, not at all. But like with CGCs, there's still always a good resale market for that.
Yep.
Original art, I think it just kind of varies. Sometimes it just depends on the collector that's looking. Especially if you like buy splash pages and interior pages and things like that, covers, but you're talking $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for those. I'm not going to spend that money on anything like that. But, I do wonder sometimes if going the original route art is as good of an investment, in the long term, because I'm not doing it to make money in the long run, but I just want it to enjoy, but also knowing that if I need to sell something for any reason, I
would say if you're doing it for the investment purposes, I would say CGC, the golden age, like what Jeff specializes in, because I mean, there's records. Okay, the last one sold for this. The last one before that sold for this. It tends to be going up, or hey, it's taking a drop right now, but it'll always go back up, especially that golden age. And that's what I was talking to Dan at MegaCon. I said, I think that's going to be my next rabbit hole, because I want to I've got a ton of comics, but when one day we're all going to be gone, and I want to leave my kids like, okay, hey, if you want to keep it, you can keep it, but you know what? If you ever get into a bind, you can take this comic and you can sell it, and that'll help get you out of that bind. And it seems like the golden age, and Jeff can speak on this way better than I can, just holds its value than all this like spec. Oh, well, there was only 40 copies of this new variant and all that. If you're betting money, and I'm not a betting guy, but if I'm going to Vegas, I'm betting on the golden age rather than, oh, this variant, there was a misprint and there was only 40 copies, over the golden age. And Jeff can speak to that way better than me, type thing.
What do you think, Jeff?
I think if you want to go, and I told you this in our private chat, if you want to go into original art, it takes a lot more education and getting to know that hobby, because everything is one of a kind.
Yep.
And when you walk up to a dealer table at a convention, you really have no idea if his asking price is fair or not.
Yep.
So I would buy from Comic Link and Heritage, mostly through their auctions, because whatever it goes for in an auction, that's fair market value.
Which is this one. I mean, this one right here. This was a Comic Link that I just got this one from.
Right.
I also got a Del Auto, which I forgot to put on the show here, but same type of deal. Like I knew I trusted it especially after what you said.
Right.
And I also find, like, if you go to the different artist pages or their reps, a lot of times they have their commission rates and their things like that. So there's a lot of, like you said, if you do your research, you can truly find out kind of what this stuff's worth. And you can also, it varies. Some pages are $300, and like I said, some are $70,000, which is just insane. But
and there's going to be cases where some artist asking price is going to, even their price will be higher than fair market value. They might have a similar sketch on Comic Link right now selling for 75% of what they're asking at a convention table.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Well,
Golden age, everything is black and white. There's more than one website where you can look up past sales and you can really get a good idea, even if you're coming in as a novice, what something is worth.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I didn't hear anybody say, "Chris, don't buy this stuff." I didn't hear. I needed to hear that tonight, but I know. I was going to say with these bunch of enablers, I knew I wasn't going to get that. But anyway.
Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.